has provided us with a lot of great WWE superstars, including Karma, who was involved with Tough Enough, The Miz, who was involved with Tough Enough, Daniel Puder, who was involved with Tough Enough, a number of the Divas also involved with Tough Enough as well, who landed WWE contracts, Chris Nowinski, and the inaugural Tough Enough winner Maven, who I have no information on the whereabouts about. But yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin is doing a wonderful job promoting Tough Enough. But the thing that, catches my attention about things like Tough Enough and NXT, which premiered before Tough Enough back in February of 2010, I think that what we're seeing here with WWE programming is it's going with a transition period, I guess you could say. The WWE programming in years past weren't acknowledged by the number of seasons that the show had completed or been involved with. Monday Night Raw was never done in periodic seasons. SmackDown was never done with periodic seasons. Now with Tough Enough and NXT, what we're seeing are the shows are being divided up into single seasons. You had NXT with 5 seasons going on its 6th season, and now you have Tough Enough, the latest WWE reality program, that are doing the season idea, kind of ripping it off NXT. So is this an indication of what we're going to get from WWE programming to come in the future? Is every WWE show, with the exception of some specials and documentaries, going to be divided up into seasons? Is it not going to be that much longer before Raw and SmackDown are divided up into individual seasons? A couple of years ago, WWE released a DVD set, the best of Raw Season 1 and 2. So now they're referring to Raw and SmackDowns in DVDs as seasons. So, is it only a matter of time before Raw and SmackDown are divided up into individual seasons, just as NXT and Tough Enough have been? I mean, I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with the season idea that WWE are trying to shove down our throats now. I mean, it's okay if you want to have one show, like NXT have seasons, but you really need to have Tough Enough follow up on that and have seasons of its own too. Tough Enough seems to be the more fitting place to have seasons, if you want to have an idea like that, more so than NXT. I mean, NXT doesn't need to be divided up into individual seasons. Every couple of months you can crown a winner and then, have a new group of talent. But you don't have to keep referring to NXT as NXT Season 1, NXT Season 2, NXT Season 3, the Divas version, and attaching these little subtitle names along with the seasons, like NXT Season 5 Redemption. I mean, does it really need to be called that? I don't think there are any need to divide your shows up into individual seasons. It's a good way to make it different from other WWE programs in the past, because I can never refer to a time when Tough Enough was looked at as individual seasons or divided up into individual seasons. It's only now, recently, that WWE programming are coming out with seasons. On the internet now, you can download NXT in individual seasons. Pretty soon you're going to be able to do that with Tough Enough without paying a dime. So I think that, WWE are just trying to be different. When they started to make that transition from standard presentation into high definition quality on HD channels, that was a transition, and that made them different. So now they're continuing with this different type of feel by presenting their programming in individual seasons. And like I said, I believe we're going to see a point in time when Raw and SmackDown themselves are divided up into individual seasons. Every year after WrestleMania was always looked at as the start of a new season for WWE, but WWE never acknowledged the start of a new season. I think in probably 2 or 3 years, what we're going to see is one entire season of WWE will go from the night after WrestleMania up until that year's WrestleMania, and each year Raw and SmackDown will be divided up into seasons. I think that's eventually what we're going to get from the programming with WWE, something we haven't seen in the past. Like I said, Raw just recently released the Best of Raw Seasons 1 and 2 on DVD and Blu-ray, something that had never been done before. Definitely wrestling has come a long way since the 90s, but we don't really need to see this season division. like we're seeing with the WWE programming. No doubt this is a very different presentation of Tough Enough than we've seen in the past. Bill DeMott, one of the original trainers, back for Tough Enough for the first time in 10 years. Had the privilege of interviewing Bill DeMott several times here on this show and other shows. But I think that it's great that WWE Tough Enough is trying to stick with some of its original feel and trying to change it up by rehiring all these legends to be involved with Tough Enough. The Rock is speculated to have some involvement with Tough Enough in another season that's coming up. Michelle McCool is trying to debate whether or not to be involved with Tough Enough and offer some skills and opinions and pointers to the female side of things for the female competitors. But I think that another thing that needs to be raised about Tough Enough that's very different and that separates it from previous installments of Tough Enough we've seen over the last 10 years, is how long the seasons are. I think the NXT seasons are longer than the Tough Enough seasons. I mean, you take it. The inaugural season of Tough Enough, version 2, version 2.0, as I'll refer to it here on HEW Entertainment Variety Radio for this week's audio commentary. Tough Enough version 2.0. It debuted the night after WrestleMania. After Raw, we had a 2-hour premiere of Tough Enough, and it went from April 5th, up until June. So basically we had about 2.5 months of Tough Enough. Now obviously the NXT seasons were longer than the Tough Enough seasons. But I think that the length of Tough Enough needs to be taken into consideration, and hopefully with more seasons to come and being developed of Tough Enough, we're going to see lengthier seasons, because 2.5 months is not enough time for the WWE Universe to get introduced to a new group of talent. If this is all about the New Talent Initiative, you have to give your fans time enough to get used to these talents. I mean, NXT was a very phenomenal way of introducing fans to new talents, because before they'd show up on Raw and SmackDown, if you saw NXT on Sci-Fi when it was on television, or on the internet on WWE.com when it became a weekly streaming event that was done live on WWE.com, you had an idea of what these young talents were all about. Example of that, Alex Riley, before he started being buddy-buddy with The Miz on Raw, at least you knew him for being some type of individual on NXT Season 2. He didn't just show up and bam, he was there. I think that it was a great way of doing it. But 2.5 months for a season is not enough time to get introduced to these talents. I mean, I would venture to say that there isn't a single soul out there listening to HEW Entertainment Variety Radio this week who has seen every single Tough Enough, unless you're a merc, simply put, who watches WWE and that's all you do. Not everybody watches Tough Enough on Monday nights. Probably everybody watches Raw and SmackDown, but they say the hell with shows like NXT Superstars and Tough Enough because it doesn't benefit them. Nothing interesting happens on the show without the occasional appearance of, a scattered big name like Rey Mysterio was on the original Tough Enough doing something with it. The Rock is speculated to have some involvement with an upcoming season of Tough Enough, so maybe that will help boost the ratings, having Austin and The Rock involved with it. I'm not sure if Trish Stratus is going to remain on the team of Tough Enough trainers. I'm pretty well sure Bill DeMott will be, but hopefully, with the up-and-coming seasons of Tough Enough, we're going to get a different group of trainers, a different group of rookies, obviously, but definitely NXT and Tough Enough have their similarities, their pros and cons, but that's like every WWE program. Another thing, too, a WWE program here recently, I don't know if you've noticed this pattern, but a WWE program will come around for about 6 months to a year. WWE will premiere a new program for about 6 months to a year. And if WWE don't have a significant amount of faith in the development of the program and how it's faring, they will cancel it and implement a new show that nobody's ever heard tell of. I mean, ECW was only around 5 years before it was canceled, half a decade, gone, put in the WWE vault, and the only bit of ECW footage we get is on WWE Classics on Demand or on YouTube. And the same thing can be said now about Superstars. Rumors are running rampant now on the internet. WWE are going to cancel the Superstars after a 2.5 year run on WGN America. WG in America is going to be dropping superstars. I think I read somewhere on the internet that the superstars had found a new home, and I hope that's true because I don't want to see superstars canceled after debuting after WrestleMania 25 and being canceled after 2.5 years. Programs are premiering and getting canceled just as fast as they're premiering. So, I wouldn't be surprised after the 5th or 6th season of Tough Enough, it's taken off television and never brought back. Now, with the up-and-coming Diva Search returning, maybe Tough Enough will stay around, and you can have Tough Enough and the Diva Search done on television or done on WWE.com, whatever you want to do with it. But it would be nice to have both the Diva Search and Tough Enough around the same time and have the two of it going on, because then you'd have something for your male and female fans to be interested in, and something else for your male and female fans to be interested in. If they didn't like Tough Enough, they would like the Diva Search. If they didn't like the Diva Search, they could like Tough Enough. You need a variety of different things happening, but you don't need to overload your week of programs. I mean, currently, right now, WWE produces 10 to 15 hours of weekly programming, plus their live events. So obviously, they're getting a significant amount of promotion overload. So, with everybody going from talk show to talk show, like Austin's doing with Jimmy Fallon, promoting Tough Enough, like The Rock is doing, promoting this upcoming John Cena Rock angle for the WWE title at WrestleMania 28 from the home state of The Rock. You're getting all this promotion from talk shows and getting all this promotion from the internet. And, you have 10 to 15 hours of weekly programming plus your live events where you can promote stuff like Rock and John Cena and WrestleMania 28 with your banners, your graphics, your presentation, and your promos. You don't really need to overload it with programming, but it's always good to be introducing new programming. But the length of the seasons, how frequent the programs are being introduced, I don't know if I agree with it or not. And if you have an opinion on how frequent WWE are changing their programming lineup, you can send it to us on YouTube, MySpace, and Facebook. All the links are available through our website. And, of course, another thing that I need to throw out there, too, the pay-per-view lineup is constantly being changed. I mean, it was always Fatal 4-Way. They had one installment of Fatal 4-Way last year in June in 2010.